The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Hi, welcome to Touched by Angel Live. I'm your host, Angel Kinseys. My passion is to inspire seniors, bring solutions to their everyday needs, and bring the generations together. Enjoy the show.
This is Dr. Paula Hedglon from Hedglon Chiropractic Center. We've been serving Pompano Beach for over 35 years, and I'd love to be your chiropractor. It's easy to get started, beginning with a chiropractic exam and x-rays. Then we look for the cause, and we perform a specific, gentle chiropractic adjustment. Find out if we can help you. Call today.
Call Hedglon Chiropractic Center at 954-946-1799.
Licensed independent insurance agent Michelle Amron specializes in Medicare health insurance plans for those under 65. Amron Insurance offers plans with most major insurance companies, names that you know and trust. From understanding and comparing all of your options to finding what plan is best for you, Michelle Amron will help you apply for low-income insurance assistance if you qualify. Contact Michelle today at 561-308-0293 to schedule a call, virtual meeting, or in person to answer any questions. Let Michelle Amron Insurance help you navigate through all of your available options. 561-308-0293.
Good evening. Welcome to the show tonight. I can't believe we're in the middle of December, holiday season, and I'm so excited tonight because you know I always have an interesting topic and a special guest to talk about a subject that's related to help people, especially seniors. And so tonight, especially at the holiday season time, it could be very stressful, even though it's very exciting for people, but it could be very stressful because of different relationships. And we're going to talk about the emotional side of relationships tonight, how to deal with it, different types, just talk about everything about relationships. And I'm so happy to welcome my special guest, Dr. Paula Hedglon. Welcome, Dr. Paula. Thank you for your wisdom and for coming tonight.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. So I'm going to have her start off with whatever you want to talk about.
Well, it's so funny that you mentioned about different relationships, because everybody thinks when you think about something emotional relationship, they think negative. Well, a good relationship can also be stressful and can affect you too. Mm-hmm. So all those emotions that you have, especially this time of year, can affect you unconsciously. 90% is unconscious that it affects you, 10% is conscious. So things can affect you in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, without you even knowing it. So those type of relationships, whatever one you want to talk about, I can have definitely stories for you, and I can give you some things that they do to avoid being in those type of relationships and what they can do to help themselves.
Yeah, because, you know, like you said, whether it's good or bad, a lot of relationships could be very stressful because you need to learn how to set boundaries. Some people don't know how to do that. We've all had situations with friends, children, spouses. I mean, I could name every kind of relationship, right? We all have relationships. So how do we deal with the stressful ones? Or
I see a lot of it. And you don't have to actually watch TV to know. All you have to do is go outside and drive on I-95 or go to the airport or go any place in the mall, and you would see people that are either arguing with each other, people that are sad, people that are lonely, that they lost their spouse, they're not talking to their children, and all those people, they have to do a couple of things to remember. Remember that it's only temporary. That's number one. This is not going to be something that you're going to have the rest of your life. You have to remember that every day is a good day that you get up. every day. Every emotion that you have is a lesson for us. Whether it's good or bad, it's a lesson. And we have to, and it helps us develop our spiritual and our level, what we need to do. So if you have an emotional relationship like a death of a family member or death of a spouse, find people that are in the same type of situation and get with people to talk about it. You got to release it.
Yeah,
if you don't release it, it stays in your body, it stays in your heart. You get that broken heart syndrome, and it stays in all the cells of your being, and that could cause a lot of sickness. It can cause dis-ease. It can cause everything in your body. It can make you very anxiety. It can make you have panic attacks. It can make you have a lot of things that you're not aware that is happening. So those kind of relationships, you have to definitely let it go. And it's easy to say, and it's hard to do. So there's many different ways that you can do that. You can have a church that you belong to, you can have a group that you belong to, you can speak to somebody, you can do it through exercise, you can do it through meditation, you can do it through just reading the Bible. You can do many things to help that emotional relationship that you're having. And another thing is, a lot of times people will blame other people. It's like a victim thing. Well, they did it. Well, they left me. I'm mad at God, I'm mad at this, and I'm mad at it. Well, if you point a finger like this, okay, one points to them, but three are pointing back to you. So look to yourself. Yeah, so look to yourself, stop worrying about the other people, start working on yourself, and your connection to God, your spirit, your mind and body connection. You have to look in that mirror and see yourself as one whole white light and one whole beautiful being that you are.
I like what you said, that you have to find someone that can relate to what you're going through, rather than holding it in and bottling it up and think, I don't have anybody to talk to. You do. You need to find the person that is going through the same situation, because they could relate. Do you ever try to tell somebody something like your grief and everything, when they haven't, somebody that lost a child? I can't relate to that. Someone that was an alcoholic, I can't relate to that, but I can relate to someone that's, lost their spouse.
Right.
So it does help talking to somebody in the same situation.
And if somebody doesn't want to forgive someone else or something, this is what I have my patients do. I tell them to write a letter. Don't send it. Write a letter of your feelings. Write a letter, let it all out. You can put it in the Bible, put it someplace, burn it, whatever, but write that letter so that you are releasing it. Because there's some people that say, no, I'm not going to forgive. No, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And you can see that they have the same type symptoms, the same type things coming back, the same type of negative talk about the person, and they're not letting go, and they're not forgiving. That, we have to forgive ourselves too. And that's one of the things I have them do. So, if you're having a difficult journal, write a letter. And it doesn't have to go to that person, but you released it. If it's a certain person, release it. So that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially this time.
You could actually really, heal yourself just by your mind, just by changing your thoughts, changing your thinking. Like you said, it's in the cells of your body. It's really comes from what you think, and what you think is in your heart, and what is in your heart comes out of your mouth. So you got to be careful even what you're saying.
So in other words, like the limbic system of the brain is your emotions. And we have people that their spouses died and they became having some dementia. And I always understood, why would this person have dementia? Because they were very healthy. And all of a sudden, after a spouse died, they had dementia. And I realized, I researched it, and I found out that in the limbic side of the brain, you're supposed to crisscross the messages to the brain. So what the brain will do, it'll be like a short circuit. It'll short circuit, it'll stop the flow going back and forth, and that's when you start to lose the memory and so forth. And that's a physiology. That's, that's
So
something
it's like
unconscious.
usually from a trauma, something
Exactly.
that changes your life, and you can't get through it.
Exactly. So if you understand that, if you can connect the brain and do the meditation, do whatever you have to do, like I said, write the letter, or speak to somebody, or talk it out, or just be in the places that you love, whether it's nature, or whether it's in the woods, whether it's on the beach, just be in those places. It can release the endorphins in your body, which can release all that emotional trauma that you have. So that's very important.
And I know that a lot in the last, it's going to be 3 years, that COVID.
Yeah.
And I think in the last 3 years with COVID, that's changed a lot of people, a lot of their thinking, their isolation, broken families, losing jobs, their children being in the house, not in school. It's affected our children. So COVID has played a big role in our stress.
Plus, people, like elderly people, they were isolated. So if they didn't have their family come visit them, there was no hugs, there was no touching, there was no communication, there was none of that, like the family environment during that time. That can take an effect 10 years from when it happened.
Wow.
It's not something that just happened now and you can get over it. It takes years for that to change. And that's very, very, important that you know that it takes little baby steps for you to change. But that's what a devastation that has happened. That's why even this time of year, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah, if you don't have family or you are alone, there's a very, very important emotional burden on you, and that's so hard for people to overcome.
Yes.
So we have to be involved. You have to, they say when you have something like that, to give yourself, make it like give yourself a service. Go to a homeless shelter, go to where children's, like we're doing the Broward Children's Center, we're playing music for them. Do something
Volunteer.
for service during that time,
Yes.
which helps you give, which also it'll help you heal.
Yes, exactly. That's what I really felt like at my point of wanting to just die. I felt like I have to do something. So it was a choice to say, I'm going to survive. I'm going to do this. I have to be strong. And I made a choice to move on and to just make a change. But you have to come to that decision. How do people come to that decision? What do you think makes some people very weak, that they just can't get over something, and other people make a choice and move on?
Some people stay in that victimhood, and then there's sometimes a little word or a little communication from a friend, a little nudge that can help them get out of it. Sometimes we call it tough love, like a family member telling somebody, don't keep your head in the sand.
Right.
Let's go out and let's do things,
Yes.
and so forth. I mean, that's really important. So that's something that somebody can help you with, whether it's in your church, whether it's your group, whether it's where you live. Just be involved and do a service, and it'll come out. You will know, and you'll know from the inside, like that intuition of what it is that you need to do.
What's right, yeah.
All your answers are inside.
And that's why it's so important what we say, because that's how I was influenced by a friend to come to a Zumba class, and I thought, this is crazy. But that's what really changed my whole life. It brought my happiness back. I lost weight. I got involved. I was able to help other people through exercise. So one person with one word. So you may think, well, what could I do? But you can make a difference. Somebody with one little word.
And I'll tell you, it makes a difference in everything. Love.
Yeah.
There you go. Love.
Yes.
It's so important that we love one another, but you have to love yourself. And a lot of times when people have this emotional, whatever it is that's bothering them, love is really the answer. So it's you can find it, and if you don't, it's all around you and it's within you.
Yeah.
And that's where I see a lot of healing happen.
Yeah.
So.
And with the relationships, back to the relationship a little bit, one of my true, really good friends, she's probably one of my best friends, in Seattle, her grandfather was a chiropractor, like you, and he was amazing. He's passed on now, but he was just amazing, and I'll never forget, he taught my husband and I, he said, every person that you meet in life is a lesson, whether to be or not to be like them. And that had stuck in my head. That was like wisdom from above. And that's true, because what that is boundaries. You have to know if this person is toxic, is not good for you, you have to learn to move on. Sometimes it's hard. It could be your own family. It could be people that you really love, but they're just toxic in your life, and you really, really need to learn to move on. If they don't want to heal, you've got to heal yourself.
I have a mentor that used to say, not to get rid of all the negative persons, places, or things around you. And to remember that, because sometimes one toxic person, negative person, can change everything around you, can change within you, around you, and all your family. So it's very important that you know that. Sometimes we just have to walk away, and sometimes no conversation is better than some conversation saying you have to do this. Because nobody wants to hear you have to do this, or we choose it. We choose what we want to do, and they choose what they want to do. But that's one of the things that you're going to see. You have to walk away to help yourself so you don't get into that trap.
Now, when people come to you, and I'm sure they talk to you about their emotional problems, you listen to
This
it.
time of year, yes.
Especially this time of year. How do you deal? How do you deal with it? Because you're taking that all in.
Well, one of the things is touch is important. So I put my hand on their shoulder or whatever, and I let them say what it is. I said, now, change your movie. Change your movie, meaning changing your mindset, changing it, and say something positive. So even though you have all this, let's not talk about the negative. Let's talk about the positive. What's better today? What's going on today? Let's start with today, and then go from there. So I do hear a lot of that, and I do have to change their mindset, change their energy. And usually after they get adjusted, they're connected, and they do change unconsciously. So.
And the first time I came into your office, the sign that you have on the outside of the door, what does that say?
Only positive thoughts when you enter this room.
And as soon as you walk in, you're walking in an outside door, and I thought, wow, that's powerful. If I was going in there with negative thoughts, I'm not going in there with any negative thoughts. And then you walk in the office, and everything is just, there's decorations, and there's just happiness, and everything is revolved around happiness. Positive affirmations everywhere, everywhere you look, on every wall, every room. It's almost like the studio here with all the paintings. You walk in there, and there's all positive affirmations, and you can't help but have a different mindset when you're in there, because you're sitting and you're waiting and you're looking and you're reading. And it made me think that in your home, you got to put that stuff out there, even in your home. I have things in my bathroom, I have things in my kitchen, all positive, sometimes scripture verses.
And there's always someone, like when they come in, they say, oh, I had this happen to me, I'm gonna, I just can't deal with life. And there's always someone else that is more in I don't know what to say, but more an emotional state that's worse, that's had something happen that's bad. So it's not all you. There's always somebody else. That's why it's important. Go to the hospitals and the children's center and start walking down the hall and see. Be thankful. That's the other two, attitude of gratitude. Be thankful for what you have, and let's get off of what's bad and let's get on to what's good. And that's with relationships. I see that all the time. I have people that got divorced. They're both coming in, and it's at this time of year, and there's a lot of stress. But you know what? We have to let it go. That's the past, and you got to close the door and turn the corner and go on.
Yeah.
And that's what we're told to do. That's what there's a sign in this bathroom that says we're here to thrive, not to survive. And a lot of people are surviving instead of thriving. So they're holding themselves back by doing that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, how do you deal with, say, a situation with someone in a broken relationship? I know you don't like that word. So we were coming up with a topic for the show, and I said, I really want to do something about relationships. And I said, how about broken relationships? She goes, let's think of another word besides broken. Then I thought, yeah, that's negative. So we got to think of a positive one. So you don't realize all the little things you say, how important it is, because that's your side of your brain that you don't even realize.
And it's not, I don't even want to say it's broken, you're just taking a different path. Like if you're two married to each other and it's not working, you're taking a different path and a different path. And you're finding your own way, your own path. So that's the part, but everyone hangs on to the past. And that's the problem. If you hang on to the past, you're not going to go forward. So it's like taking 2 steps back. You got to go forward. So I do. They do meditation. I give them meditation stuff. I give them all sorts of things to look at. But writing the letter is really, really good.
That's
Besides
great.
speaking to somebody, writing the letter. So, and
I
just,
think it's also important not only to forgive, but to forget.
yes.
Because I have so many people that say, oh, I'll forgive, but I will never forget. Well, you know what? You never forget because that was your lesson that you learned. So you've already learned it. So to me, you got to forgive and you got to forget it. Because if you don't forget it, you're not letting it go. It's replaying in your mind all the time.
One thing I do with people is I have them close their eyes and think of the worst thing that ever happened to them. And I say, how do you feel? And then they say it. I says, okay, change it. Think of the best thing that ever happened in your life. See it, feel it, close your eyes, and believe it. And you would see a whole different expression on their face, a whole different on their body, a whole different thing. I says, that's how you have to feel every day when you wake up. So you need to put that on your mirror. I am happy, healthy, terrific, and not to be so burdened by all the emotional things around. So.
Or even guilty. I think people feel guilty if they choose to close a chapter on a relationship because it's toxic. I think they kind of feel guilty about it. So again, making that choice not to go there.
Yeah, and I think now this is the time to say, Angel, I love and appreciate you.
Oh.
And it's very important that we love each other more than we hate each other.
It's
Not
true.
us, but other people. It's very important. Love is going to really get you across there, and the touch and your mindset, all of it. So I think that's important that you say to people, I love and appreciate you to people every
Thank
single
you,
day.
Dr.
I love and
Paula.
appreciate you.
You know, at this time of the holiday season, I think this is a great time to get our mindset correct and to deal with situations and to forgive. And if you feel like you can't, just ask God to help you to do it and make it right.
Yes.
And like Dr. Paula said, sometimes it's just a touch on somebody's shoulder that makes a difference. I'm a toucher and a feeler. And I love to just put your hand on it, and that is a lot of power and healing in it. It could be negative in a bad way if somebody hit you, but in a positive way to just, it almost calms you down. And even just smiling, you know, in a grocery store, you know, if somebody smiles at you, it makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
So thank you, Dr. Paula,
So,
for coming.
I thank you for having me on here.
Thank
and
you.
just
And
do some
visit
service.
Dr. Paula. She's great. I love her. She's my doctor. And if you have any issues, give her office a call. You want to give them your phone number?
I think they can see it's 954-946-1799. And we are just excited about the holiday season, and always look to the good. Don't look to the bad, because every day we get up, it's a gift.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Paula. I want to thank my sponsors, Dr. Paula, her chiropractor office in Pompano, Michelle Amron for insurance. It's not too late. I know the cutoff was December 7th, but you still have time. If you want to look into your health insurance, call Michelle. And I want to thank you for joining our show tonight, and we'll see you soon. God bless. Remember my shows, I have 25 shows now. Been here all year on Touch by Angel Live. You can go back and look at all the subjects. They're all specializing in seniors. God bless. Have a happy holiday, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, Christmas. God bless you.
This is Dr. Paula Hedglon from Hedglon Chiropractic Center. We've been serving Pompano Beach for over 35 years, and I'd love to be your chiropractor. It's easy to get started, beginning with a chiropractic exam and x-rays. Then we look for the cause, and we perform a specific gentle chiropractic adjustment. Find out if we can help you. Call today.
Call Hedglon Chiropractor Center at 954-946-1799.
Licensed independent insurance agent Michelle Amron specializes in Medicare health insurance plans for those under 65. Amron Insurance offers plans with most major insurance companies, names that you know and trust. From understanding and comparing all of your options to finding what plan is best for you, Michelle Amron will help you apply for low-income insurance assistance if you qualify. Contact Michelle today at 561 308-0293 to schedule a call, virtual meeting, or in person to answer any questions. Let Michelle Amron Insurance help you navigate through all of your available options. 561-308-0293.
Thank you for watching Touch by Angel Live. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you love. Have a wonderful day.